Hello? Testing, one, two, three. Hello? Denise, can you hear me? Oh, that's okay. It has to be the mirror. Let's see. Okay, great. We'll get started. I just wanted to make sure everyone could hear me. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to screen share my PowerPoint with you so that you can see these slides, and I will speak through them, and then we'll go over any information or questions that you may have. So hopefully everyone can see this first slide. And this first slide is talking about what the challenge is this year. And the challenge this year is called Think Tank. And children will study about how we learn in different environments. They'll research that, they'll go through it, and when you register a team, the team will get the complete challenge with all the details that they need. Now, right now we know what the think tank is about and kind of an overall view, but the actual details aren't released to the coaches until they actually register. And so that's part of the registration, and we'll go through that as we go on through these slides. Now, Junior First Lego League is about not only helping students work together and collaborate together, but also come together through a research challenge that's given to them. So it's for children that are 6 to 9 years old. The 6-year-old limit is what we call the soft limit. So if there's 5-year-olds that are totally capable of being on the team, then we welcome them to come. But 9-year-old is what we call a definite cutoff. So the students cannot be 10 years old when they go to an event. They need to still be 9 years old. So that's definitely a more rigid cutoff. This year, LEGO has implemented a new rule where you have to be in your group, you have to have 2 mentors and coaches that are meeting with the team. And so it doesn't have to be 2 teachers. Of course, 2 parents can be mentors or coaches, but it has to be 2 adults that are supervising. Before in last year and years before, 1 coach was enough, but now they're asking for there to be 2 coaches that are meeting with the students. So that's something that you have to consider, to have 2 people that are meeting with the teams. Now, 2 coaches can be a coach for as many teams as they want. So if you're thinking about having more than 1 team, if you're having 2 teams that are 4 students, you can have the 2 coaches in the room at the same time, and they can be coaching 2 teams at the same time, but you need at least 2 adults in there. LEGO also requires or gives an estimate of how many times the teams meet, and they need to meet at least once or twice a week for an hour for up to 8 weeks. So between 6 to 8 weeks is the recommended time length that the students need to meet. So this allows for a lot of flexibility. You can start your teams in January and then go to the event in the spring, or teams can start meeting right now and start forming. So it really gives students not such a rigid amount of time that they need to meet, but some flexibility. The website at the bottom is www.usfirst.org, and that is where you would go to register a team. And when you register a team, you need to have at least the 2 coaches' emails, and then you can register the team. You don't need to have the students' names yet, don't need to have a team name yet, but you need to have at least the 2 emails from the coaches. It costs $50 to register a team, and when you register a team, this is the different resources that you'll have access to. So as a coach, you'll have the documents that'll tell you all about the challenge. You'll have access to coaches' resources and the manual that give you information about what activities you can do with your team, how you can structure the time that you meet with your team. You'll have the meeting guide, kind of gives you the rules and the overall goals of meeting together, kind of communicating the values of what Junior FLL is all about. And you'll have access to an online showcase. So this online showcase is a way for teams all over the world to interact. Now this is something that's available. You don't have to do it, but you can put your team's pictures up there. You can put different things that your team is doing, what they're researching, and then you can visit other teams' site, and then you can see what other teams are doing, whether they're a team in England or they're a team in another state. So that's one way just for different teams to communicate. You'll also be given a team number, and this team number will allow you access to a special Lego store, and this special Lego store will give you reduced pricing on the Lego kits. And it depends what kind of materials you have to start off with. If you don't have anything, you'll probably want to buy a base kit. If you have some things, you have options of just supplementing your kits that you have. And so this reduced pricing is pretty good because Lego Education, the store for Lego Education is a little bit more expensive, but in the Lego kits that you'll be able to buy from, you'll have a reduced pricing that will include a lot more materials than you'll have access to. So let's talk a little bit about the cost, and then we'll go into some opportunities for getting some training. The cost for the Lego team to register, like I said before, is $50. And if you want to buy a starter kit because your team doesn't have anything to start with at all, then that's $209.95. So that's for a team that doesn't have anything. It'll give you everything that you need to go throughout the year and go into the event. There's really no limit on how many Legos you can use for the model that the teams build. The only requirement is that you have one moving part in your model. So that means you need one motor and one power source. And so if you had a lot of Legos already or have an after-school program that has Legos that you can use, then you might just consider buying just the power pack and the motor. And the prices there are given: $7.49 for the motor and $6.99 for the power pack. And so you can have that and kind of just supplement your materials as needed. The other price that you have to consider is the price for your poster. So every team makes like a display board, kind of like a science, when you go to a science competition where you have that board, the display board. The coaches are given a way that they can organize their display board, and you put pictures of your team working throughout the year. You put your research that you've come up with. Your kids make drawings to put up there. You have your team name. And so that display board goes in the background of your model, surrounding your model that's in front. And so whatever money you need for the display board, that's the other price that you have to consider. But that comes at the end. So to start off with is at least the $50, and then to think about how many Legos that you need to supplement for your team. Here at the county office, I'm going to be offering a training for new coaches and new mentors. The training is October 9th. And I'm asking the coaches who'd like to come to already have their team registered and for them to have already their kit already built. So whether that's them buying a starter kit or them coming with the kit that they're going to use, they'll bring those materials so that we can go through some activities that you can do with your team. We'll go through how you can structure it, go through where to find the resources. There's so many resources, so going through that and seeing where to look for different things that you need. Last year was my first year being a coach, so I kind of got my feet wet a little bit and was able to kind of make some notes of how to help other coaches that are starting this off. So this is just a day for coaches to come to get comfortable, to ask questions, and kind of build a network where you can work together and think about the different ideas that people have and work together in building your team for the first time. Now, if you have an older team or you're kind of very comfortable with this kind of a structure, or maybe you've already been a coach in certain teams, bringing in the robotics option is a great option. Now, when students start getting older, when they're reaching 8 and 9 years old, they need to start getting ready to transition to the first LEGO League. And the first LEGO League is a competition where the junior first LEGO League is not. It's mostly about sharing their work and sharing their research. So getting students ready for that is bringing in the robotics piece. And so Lego Education has a kit called the We Do Robotics Kit. It comes with its software, and it comes with a booklet of activities, and that's on the special store for the Lego teams. Now, the price for just the kit, and if you were just going to get the activities, if you were going to just buy those separately on the Lego Education store, you'd end up spending more money than if you just bought the package deal that's on the special the special site for the Lego team. So that's really well worth it. But one option as well is to use MIT Scratch program that's absolutely free and it's online. And that gives students even more ability to see what programming is all about. And you can do a lot of introductory lessons with the students and then transition into how do we control the motor. So there's a special way to connect those. So bringing in the robotics option is recommended if you have an older team or you're maybe in your second year of having a team and these students have been together. Bringing up the challenge a little bit. It is not a requirement, but it is definitely a recommendation for any older students. I'll also be offering here at Fresno County Office of Education a training for implementing robotics. So if there's any coaches who are interested in implementing the robotics piece, either for their first year or continuing year, they can come and we can go through some activities. They'll bring the robotics kit with them and one of the simple machines kits and then their motor and their power pack. And then we'll go through how to use the software, but also how to use Scratch with their kit, so they can show students various ways of using that. And it also broadens their horizons about coding and gives them a lot more experience. So the event this year that Fresno County is sponsoring, last year was our first time sponsoring the event, and we were able to host 13 teams. And so we had well over 80 children come and share. And so this is a picture of what the display looks like with students who studied about tornadoes in this specific model here. Last year they studied about natural disasters. So they picked a natural disaster and they were able to talk about how does that natural disaster start, what happens, how do you stay safe, what happens afterwards. And so the students came and they shared out. So at the event this year, we're looking to do the same thing around the Think Tank Challenge. When you register for an event, that is separate than registering your team with the Junior First Lego League. So when you register with Junior First Lego League for those $50, you're getting your access to all the resources and to the store and all of that. And there's no requirement to go to an event. That's an option, and most students like to go to an event so that they can see other teams, what they studied, and they can share with other people. They can have the experience of sharing with adults what they did and speaking out and getting their presentation skills nice and polished. But that's not a requirement. In fact, homeschool parents can do this at home and then invite family and friends over and have just a little personal event at their house where students can share with their family and friends what they studied. But events are a nice, fun time for students. So the event that we're going to be hosting will be at Hoover High School this year on April 18th. We're going to be charging $15 for each student. So if you have a team of 2, you'll pay $15 for just those 2 students. If you have a team of 6, $15 for each of those students. That will cover just the event, the place of the event. It also covers the awards. Every student gets a medal when they leave and will get a certificate with their name as participating in this. There will be opportunity for students to win a team trophy. Last year we gave 3 team trophies away, one for creativity on their model that they built, one for teamwork, and we gave one for an overall best team. And so it's not really competitive, but it does highlight those who worked really hard in different areas. And so we try to give at least 3 team awards, but everyone gets a medal and a certificate. We also have some time for students to share with their family and friends. So we usually come team set up, and then they get an appointment. Their appointment tells them when they will be reviewed by a group of adults. So a group of adults will go and visit the team at their display board, and they will be ready and ready to answer the questions that those adults ask them, questions about their display and their model and how they studied. And this is really to verify that the students did the work themselves, and an opportunity for them to share that work and to be able to work together in presenting something as a team. And so that's part of the coach or the mentor's job, is to get your team ready to be able to present. With different activities that are scaffold throughout the year, you get your team ready to be able to present more confidently every time. And so this is a great experience for the teams to be able to do. Last year, our event lasted it was about 9 to 12 o'clock noon. So we try to keep the event bearable, not too long, not all day or anything like that. But we just try to organize it so we'll have everything running smooth, and also an open time for teams to have their families and friends come and see their display boards. This is just some pictures of the event from last year, and you can see the students there with their coach, with their medals on. Pictures of the students sharing with their family as everyone's in the area, just looking at everyone else's displays and just being proud of all the work that they've done. And then the bottom picture on the lower right-hand corner is one of the teams presenting to the reviewers, and the reviewers are coming asking them questions about what they studied and the research that they did throughout the year. It's a really great time for students, and we had last year a whole team of just kindergarten students come, and it was just amazing to see the work they did and their vocabulary and just this experience that they had throughout the year as a team. And so we're looking forward to this year and hosting as many teams as can come. And so I'm just going to go to just the question time. You'll see the board come open with a chat, and you'll be able to ask any questions that you need on the Q&A, and then I'll pick the ones that I'll answer in the order that they're given. So one of the questions I saw from the list earlier was about whether or not this is worldwide, and it is. Anyone can start a team. Like I said, you just give your emails. I believe this year they're going to do some kind of a screening process that, along with having 2 mentors and 2 coaches that are present at each meeting, that you'll also, your name will go through some kind of a screening process. This is just to ensure that the kids are safe and that we have good environments, healthy environments for the students. Were there any other questions? All right, I don't see any questions coming up on the side except those that were already given. This Hangout will be broadcasted on YouTube, so you can feel free to go there and review any of the information there. Also, just to give everyone my email, it's arizo@fcoe.org, and so if you have any questions, you can feel free to email them to me anytime. Thank you for coming to this Hangout. I hope it's been helpful. I hope you've gotten your questions answered. I'll stay on a little longer just to answer any questions that I see come up. You can click on either the chat button, the group chat, or the Q&A button on your left-hand side on the column to go ahead and ask any questions. And thank you again. We'll see you soon. All right, I see a question here. It says, can the same team enter the robotics option and the non-competitive option? There's just one event, and so whether or not a team uses robotics or not is completely up to the team, and it doesn't give a team really an advantage or not. The only requirement is that there's one moving part, and so they can turn on their motor and show what the model does when their motor is on or off. What the robotics option does is let them control the way the model, the way the motor will turn and when it will turn on and off. And so that's a part of the robotics piece that's kind of added. A group can have as many motors as they want. They just have to have at least one. And so they can use the robotic option or not, but it's still non-competitive. It is really about sharing. It is not timed. It is not, there's no scoring or anything like that. It is all about them sharing what they've learned. Good question. So I saw another note here just to clarify. Can anyone younger than 6 years old participate? Yes. Whether or not a student is able to, that's really up to the coach or the mentor, the parent to decide. So students that are 5 or even 4, if they're able to participate and feel comfortable with sharing and speaking and working together, that's completely up to the mentor, coach, and the parent to decide if that student is ready. And so that 6 years old limit there for the younger kids is really a soft limit. It's really up to the discretion of the parents and the coaches. Good question. Another question, will I make my slideshow available to download? Yes, I can. I can put it up to Google Drive and then share it with anyone that wants to. If you're not on my Facebook page or a part of my Google Plus, you can email me at arizo@fcoe.org, and I can go ahead and email you the link. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and post it to both of those places, my Google Plus account, and then also on my Facebook page called Engineering with Legos. Another question, did this start at the county level or the school level? We started this at the county level. We started having teams come together from around the county, especially rural teams who were trying to start robotics. So this did start there, but we had some students that were coming from different places, from San Jose and from Fowler and different places, O'Neill's. But it can start at the school level where you have an event at your school and then form teams just at your school level. So that is an option. All right, I don't see any more questions, so I hope that we'll connect later. And again, if you want to view this, you can go to YouTube and review the Hangout, or you can review the PowerPoint. Thank you very much.